So today we're going to be looking at Lesson 3, ratio tables. This is actually notes from your book, so make sure you're in the notebook pages and you're looking at pages 31 through 38. So check before you start that you're on pages 31 through 38. When you are, turn your page so you're on 32 up at the top where it says equivalent ratios. So we are going to be working with equivalent ratios, and to do that we work with a ratio table. Okay, this table is called a ratio table because the columns are filled with pairs of numbers that have the same ratio. Meaning, if I reduce 2 6, I will get 1/3. If I reduce 3 9ths, I can get 2 6, or if I reduce it more, I can get 1/3. So pretty much the idea is that it's just a table with a bunch of equivalent ratios. And as a quick reminder, equivalent ratios express the same relationship between quantities. So let's take a peek at our first example. To make yellow icing, you mix 6 drops of yellow food coloring with 1 cup of white icing. How much yellow food coloring should you mix with 5 cups of white icing? So they made a table, but I want us to make our own table. So the two things we're talking about are the yellow and the white icing. It says we mix 6 drops of yellow with 1 cup of white. And we need to know how much yellow we would mix with 5 cups of white. So I need to figure out, can I go from 1 to 5 by doing something? Yes, I can multiply by 5. Now whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So 6 times 5 is 30, and that is my answer. I need 30 cups or 30 drops of yellow food coloring if I have 5 cups of icing. Let's take a look at example 2 now. In a recent year, Joey Chestnut won a hot dog eating contest by nearly eating 66 hot dogs in 12 minutes. So the two things we're talking about are hot dogs and minutes. If he ate at a constant rate, determine how many hot dogs he ate every 2 minutes. So again, we're going to make our table. I know it's done for us, but I want you to see how we do it. So we have hot dogs and minutes. And you can abbreviate, that's fine. So we make our table, and I have 66 hot dogs in 12 minutes. How many hot dogs in 2 minutes? Can I go from 12 to 2? I can. I can divide by 6. Can I divide 66 by 6? Yeah. Remember, whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 66 divided by 6 is 11. So my answer for number 2 is 11 hot dogs every 2 minutes. A little gross. I can probably eat 1 hot dog in 20 minutes. All right, let's look at the got it's. A patient receives 1 liter of IV fluids every 8 hours. At this rate, how many hours will it take to receive 4 liters of IV fluids? So the 4 has to go in the IV fluids. Can I go from 1 to 4? Yep. I multiply by 4. So whatever I do now to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So 8 times 4 is 32. So the patient will need 32 hours. Okay. Let's take a peek at the next one. To make cranberry jam, you need 12 cups of sugar for every 16 cups of cranberries. So the two things we're talking about are sugar and cranberries. 12 cups sugar, 16 cups cranberries. Find the amount of sugar needed, so I don't know the sugar, for 4 cups of cranberries. Can I go straight from 16 to 4? I can, so I don't need this middle box. Sometimes we can't go straight there, so we need the middle box. But in this case, I don't need it. 16 to 4, that means I divide by 4. So I did that on the bottom. I need to do it on the top. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I would need 3 cups sugar. And that's what we found right here. All right, let's turn our page. Multiplying or dividing two related quantities by the same number is called scaling. Sometimes you need to scale back and then scale forward to find an equivalent or ratio. So we'll look at this one right now. Number 3 is example why we need that extra box in the middle. So cans of corn are on sale at 10 for $4. So 10 cans cost $4. Find the cost, we don't know, of 15. Can I go straight from 10 to 15? No. So I'm going to look, what can I reduce 10 and 4 by? They both can be divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, can I go from 5 to 15? I can. So I can multiply by 3, and whatever I do to the top, I also do to the bottom. Notice the 2's are the same and the 3's are the same. Just like fractions, you need to make sure you're doing the same thing to top and bottom. And 2 times 3 is 6. So we found out that the cost for 15 cans of corn is $6. Let's take a peek at another example. Joe mows lawns during the summer vacation to earn money. He took 14 hours last week to mow 8 lawns. So the things we're talking about, hours and lawns. And again, these numbers don't go anywhere. They have to go in specific spots in the same category. So if we're talking about 14 hours, that has to go in the hour spot. If we're talking about 8 lawns, that has to go in the 8th spot. At this rate, how many lawns could he mow in 48 hours? Or 49, sorry. So, can I go from 14 to 49? No. Let's see if I can divide these both by something. I can. I can divide them both by 2 because they're both even. That gives me a 7 and a 4. Now, can I go from 7 to 49? Yep, times 7. And whatever I do to the top, I got to do the bottom. 4 times 7 is 28. So my answer is 28. Now, if it helps you, you can highlight the thing you're looking for before you even start solving the problem. That way you know what your final answer is. Okay? Let's look at the got it. A child's height measures 105 centimeters. Estimate their height in inches. So, I have 25 and 10. Can I go from 25 to 105? No. Let's divide them both by 5. They both can be divided by 5. So, bottom and top. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now, can I go from 5 to 105? Yep. So let's do 5 times 30. That's 150, so too big. 5 times 15, 75. 5 times 16, 80. 5 times 17, 85. 5 times, let's do 22, 110. 5 times 21, 105. So I multiplied by 21. Whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom. I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but that's what you do. You have to multiply whatever on the top to the bottom. So hopefully it gets so annoying that you remember to do it. And 2 times 21 is 42. So again, if I wanted to highlight this before I even started the problem so I know what my answer is going to be, I could. So 42, her height in inches is 42 inches. Okay, let's turn our page. On vacation, Leah exchanged $50 American and received $60 Canadian. So we're talking about American and Canadian. Use the ratio table to find how many Canadian dollars she would receive for $20 American. So again, the two things we're talking about is the American and Canadian. Now, I don't like that they flip this around. You should always write it the way you see it. So I have the American and the Canadian. Write it in the order you see it in the sentence. Okay? So, we have $50 American to the $60 Canadian. We need to get down to $20 American. Well, I can't go from 50 to 20. So let's divide these both by Let's try 10. That gives me 5 and 6. I can go from 5 to 20 times 4. And again, we do whatever on the top to the bottom 2. And 6 times 4 is 24. So 24 right here is my answer. I would have $24 in Canadian. Now look down below to the guided practice. I would like you to do numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your own and also rate yourself. So you're doing 1, 2, 3, then rate yourself. So pause the video now and then try those on your own. Okay, let's look at number 1. Santiago receives an allowance of $7 every week, so for every 1 week. How much total does he receive after 4 weeks? They have all these extra boxes, but can I go straight from 1 to 4? I can. I multiply by 4. So I don't even need these guys. So 7 times 4 is 28. So how much total does he receive after 4 weeks? $28. Tanya runs 8 kilometers in 60 minutes. At this rate, how long would it take her to run 2 kilometers? Well, I asked, can I go from 8 to 2? I can. I can divide by 4. So again, I don't need this middle. And 60 divided by 4, we can use our calculators if we'd like, is 15. So it takes her 15 minutes to run 2 kilometers. All right, now let's look at number 3. Lamika buys 12 packs of juice boxes that are on sale for a total of $48. So juice boxes and price. So 12, 48. Use a ratio table to determine how much Lamika will pay to buy 8 more packs of juice boxes at the same store. So 12 packs pays a total of $48. We need to buy 8 more packs, and we don't know the price. So we can divide 12 and 48 both by 12. That gives me a 1, and 48 divided by 12 is 4. To go from 1 to 8, I have to multiply by 8, and 4 times 8 again, because I did it on top, equals 32. So for 8 more packs, would cost $32. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Write them down on a Post-it or just remember them for when we go over them in class. And please make sure to rate yourself. Clear, you got it 100%. Somewhat clear, you kind of got it, or not clear at all, that you're having a lot of trouble with it. Thanks so much and have a great night.